Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is, well, what if Naruto was adopted into the Yakuza? Or, yeah, the Yakuza, right? Did I put that inside? But, not the point. This is part 2 of that what if. Last part was part 1, and it was uploaded like 3 weeks ago. So, I'm gonna make sure that it's not 1 month, so I don't need to do a recap. Bing! I know everyone hates it. But, what's it called? So yeah, I'm here with part 2. I don't remember how many people even liked it because it was very short. The fact that I had to make it really short for the fact that I didn't have really much time on my hand or at all that much. But of course, let me go into this what if. Shut the fuck up for me. You can just watch and what am I also gonna say? Oh yeah, I could have done this way earlier. I just had to go cut the grass. Then after it, I could have like done it, but instead I decided to just watch old videos with Technoblade, which I'm still kind of depressed. But at the point, yeah, I'm just watching old videos. I'm just gonna keep watching them because I'm bored. That and I miss, but not the point. Yeah, I know it can't just be depressing my video, but not the point. But let me begin into this what if and shut the fuck up for myself. So yeah, we go into this what if. We go into Naruto being 9 years old, and of course he did meet a couple people when he was 9 years old. He does go to somewhat a school that's in Iron Country because that's where he's at. He's not in Fire Country, he's in Iron Country. The reason why is because he adopted by this man named Sansu Lee. So yeah, not Sansu. His name is Sanshan. And of course, this is where, he is somewhat the Yakuza leader for the Iron Country, or mostly the Iron Country Yakuzas. Iron Yakuza. So yeah. This is where, he's the leader of that, and of course he did kind of adopt Naruto and also take them away from Fire Country, not knowing that he's the ninth Hokage. So of course Naruto was actually trained from him being 7 to 8 years old in kind of politics and other things. Of course he still had to go to school because but of course Sansu kind of let Naruto do that, go to school. Of course Naruto also kind of made friends. Okay, he made kind of about 5 friends in kind of the school. No, it's not like a ninja school. It's not called the academy. Well, it's technically also called the academy, but it's not like for ninjas. There's 2 categories for what's called the academy. First is the civilian side. Second, it's the samurai side. But there's a third one, kind of secret, but it's not really recommended, not much. The third one is basically if you have, based on chakra and kind of want to be a ninja a little bit. Or not even a ninja, just want to control on chakra. Because yes, Iron Country does have some basics into controlling chakra, because they do use chakra. Of course, this is where, Naruto was kind of put into those 3 categories, into kind of having 3 different classrooms in those 3 categories. So yeah, the first one was him kind of learning about politics and other things from the civilian stuff and other. But he already learns that pretty easily because he's a genius. He's a prodigy genius and pretty damn smart. Also pretty damn tactical. But yeah, the only reason he's so much kind of learning pretty fast is because he learns all of this from Sansu. So yeah, of course, the next thing is the samurai thing. So Naruto kind of doesn't use swords. Well, he does. He's actually using like 2 tantos. I did remember saying that he uses daggers. No, he doesn't use daggers. He does use daggers. It's just he used 2 tantos. 2 of his main tantos is one blade was kind of with a white blade, but like a golden kind of black handle, and the other one is a black blade with a reddish with black handle. But yeah, Now, of course, the texture on the both handles are kind of like flowers, but yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto kind of doesn't really stay into the kind of sibling side much. And really, he doesn't need to be forced by, but yeah. Of course, he goes to either the samurai or the other. Now, in the samurai, he met, well, a couple people. Mostly a couple females from different kind of clans of the samurais. First person that he met was a girl with purple hair. Well, her eyes are two different colors. One is purple, one is like blue. Of course, she has two swords, but she wears them on the back and kind of parallel instead of being like on the back for like an X and all that. Like think of Deadpool or anything. No, it's kind of parallel. And of course, she does wear a straw hat. What someone not a straw hat like Luffy, like a straw hat, the Chinese kind of straw hat that kind of has a point on top. But yeah, of course, her name is Akina, and of course, she's from this clan that's pretty good in using dual, what's it called, katanas. Well, they're kind of medium katanas, not large katanas, but yeah. But of course, this is where the next person he kind of met was a girl with kind of reddish hair. Well, kind of. Um, well, not reddish hair, technically. It's kind of a dark pink. This dark pink. Of course, she has like lines on her face that kind of looks like it kind of looks like a what's it called an Izuka, but really instead of the line going down, like down her cheek and all that, no, it's kind of going across her cheek mostly, in both sides. There's two of them mostly, but yeah, well, mostly two on both sides, but yeah. Of course, she also has horns like on top of her head, and of course, this is where well, not multiple people kind of judge her because her clan is kind of based on somewhat like demons a little bit. I say a little bit because it's not really based on that much. But of course, her horns are actually look like a demon horns, but they're kind of short, and of course, they're the pointy of the horns kind of pink a little bit. But yeah, of course, behind her she has a long katana, like an actual katana. The size of the katana is actually pretty longer than a normal katana size. But of course, where well she has it, and the katana colors are like it's a pattern being kind of white, like all of it's kind of white. The sheath of the katana, I should mention, has this chain that has like this pink kind of like demon horn, or not demon horn. There's like sharpening and like the chain kind of connected to it. It's supposed to be like a good luck chain, good luck charmer and all that. Of course, this is where the katana is white, purely white, somewhat, even the handle. But it has these kind of pink flower petals around it to kind of look, yeah. So yeah, of course this is where well, her name is what's it called? Also forgot to mention, her eyes are kind of like pink color. Of course, her name is Suki. This is where well, she is someone who can actually use well katana that's that long. Of course, this is where another girl that's actually somewhat just there. She has kind of like how should I say? So the last one is this girl with kind of long black hair. I should mention before I go on, the second girl who is named Suki, she has kind of short pink hair a little bit. It's kind of next to her like neck mostly. Akina has her hair to be kind of near her shoulder. But the last one who I'm mentioning is this girl with long black silky hair that's actually reaching to her kind of back, mid back somewhat. Of course, this is where, well, she has like these kind of things that looks like white, grayish feathers like on her head, kind of like tied up and around her head and all that. Of course, her eyes are a slick blue, icy kind of blue color, like a slick. Of course, this is where her skin is kind of palish. She wears a blue dress, yeah. Unlike Akina, who actually doesn't wear kind of a dress or anything. She kind of just wear kind of sport clothes a little bit like that. Suki kind of does the same a little bit. But mostly, yeah. And of course, this girl does kind of wear like a kimono. So a little bit, but not much. She does kind of wear armor like on her kind of shoulders, that, yeah. Unlike Suki and Akina, who doesn't use armor because yeah, they think it's too much well, heavy, but yeah. Of course, this is where well, she has two blades to her side. of course, these two blades, one is actually a medium katana, and the other one is actually a longer, like a normal katana. When she pulls out her blade, instead of the blade being kind of like a steel color, it's actually like a bluish color. Because this steel is actually called blue steel. It was actually made by a rare type of metal that's only found in her kind of samurai clan. She's able to kind of produce ice pretty easily while kind of moving any hand signs. Of course, this is where she can also add into the blade to kind of have a much lightish blue color into the blade instead of just being blue steel. But yeah, of course, Naruto met them. Of course, they didn't really like Naruto that much, but Naruto kind of warm up to them a little bit. But yeah, and they kind of just they kind of became friends with what's it called Naruto. But yeah, Naruto was pretty good in using his basically tantos against them pretty easily because he uses even though the blades are pretty small, he can still easily catch them off guard. But yeah. Now, the last category, meaning the chakra-based powers for Kekkei Genkais, Naruto met one person there, and that was just because he already met him in the Yakuza kind of like place. He met this kid named, I should mention what he kind of looked like. He has black hair, one yellow eye, and one red eye. Of course, he does wear glasses sometimes because, but these glasses are yellow. He wears kind of a yellow kimono a little bit, but his name is not Katakori, what's it called? His name is Kazaru. I don't remember what I actually named him last time, so I'm changing his name to Kazaru. Because his abilities is to kind of use light matter. He can actually kind of shoot like light attacks at people. Even use the light attacks to actually shapeshift them into actually weapons. Like a sword, arrows, spears, or anything. Or just shoot them normally, like a little bit, like a laser beam from his hand or anything. Or fingers, I should mention. But of course, he can transform his body to light and kind of be more destructive like that. Now, he is not just mixed with just able to kind of use his body to light. His other ability is much more stranger than his light one. His red eye is actually able to kind of, a little bit see into, how should I say? So, his red eye is, you might think it's just a normal red eye. But it's actually a dojutsu that he kind of got. It's kind of rare and very rare in the world exactly. It's not even stated in the world exactly. So yeah, this is an OCI that I thought of. This eye it's a normal regular red eye, but of course, if he adds chakra in it, he can actually transform into a dojutsu. Now, what it kind of looks like, think of it like Morty Jim's eyes and how they're like a cross that's like yellow. But instead of being like yellow, it's black. Like a black kind of cross star a little bit. But yeah, that he has in his eye. And of course, it does kind of glow red. Mostly around it. And of course, with this eye ability, he can somewhat see into the future. Like future sight from One Piece. But yeah, of course, he can also use future sight. But also, he can actually use other types of abilities. Like being able to kind of see attacks go slowly towards him. Think of it like the Sharingan, but way, way much better. So, yeah. Of course, that's when Naruto kind of met. Of course, Naruto, he is considered to be a straight up A student. Because he's extremely smart, genius, and, kind of manipulated sometimes. Sometimes when he doesn't get what he wants from a grade, like from a teacher kind of giving him a bad grade because the teacher kind of is having a shitty day, Naruto can manipulate him so easily so he will get a good grade, while someone else, some poor child, can get a bad grade. Naruto is kind of that manipulated. He was trained by Sansu, who was actually able to kind of teach him how to manipulate things, how to do this, how to kind of thwart the police from Iron Country, and blah blah blah. Because you see here, Naruto's being trained to kind of be a kind of gang leader, if you want to think about it. Somewhat. Pretty much he's actually supposed to, when he gets older, to kind of take over the business when Sansu does kind of like dies. because he wanted Sun Tzu actually wants Naruto to become kind of the leader of it. The reason why is because he is old. He had a child, but he died to some ninjas. So of course he's making Naruto become the leader. You can see Naruto is a kind-hearted kid, at the same time can be manipulated like him. So of course he's training Naruto to be like that. This is where Naruto does kind of wear a mask. Actually, he wears somewhat like a bird mask. Think of it like from what's called back then. You know the bubonic plague and all that. Those masks. Yeah, he kind of wears it like that. Kind of, well, a mask would only cover his face like that. And of course he does kind of wear like plastic gloves. So think of it like overhaul, but yeah, because his ability, Naruto has a Kekkei, where its ability is called overhaul. So it kind of transfer matter, destroy matter, not metal, matter itself, making it into him to become stronger from the matter he touches or kind of decays or whatever, blah blah blah. So yeah, he unlocked it when he was actually 6 years old, from in Fire Country, mostly the Leaf Village. Since people beat him up because he was a 9-toaster jerky, he went berserk in that using that Kekkei. Of course, now he's 9, and of course he's a little bit much better in controlling it, but he still wears the gloves because he doesn't want to have an accidental mental breakdown. But yeah. Of course, this is where, we go into Naruto. Naruto, he is right now just walking around the kind of, not compound exactly. It's kind of mostly a base of the Yakuza, and Naruto just walking around it, kind of looking at the beautiful kind of like water stream that's kind of built. Was kind of kind of a little bit man-made built, but over time it's just water from like since Iron Country is somewhat in like kind of covered up in snow. When the sun kind of melts the snow, it kind of falls down and makes it a little bit like waterfall. Naruto kind of uses to just keep calm mind. So yeah, of course is where he sees it. Of course, Naruto is not going to like sit to have a calm mind. He's going towards mostly Sun Tzu. This is where Sun Tzu did kind of request Naruto's presence, but yeah. This is where Naruto's walking towards him. Now Naruto's wearing this kind of like a little bit like suit, like overhaul, a little bit like that, but not really. Of course, this is where instead of having a belt, he actually has like 3 belts, like this. But yeah, of course, this is where Naruto walks in and sees Sun Tzu. This is where Sun Tzu says, "Hello there, Naruto. Sit down, please." This is where Naruto does. This is where Naruto kind of sits down, like what's it called, putting his knees down on the ground and all that. And of course, kind of having a pillow underneath, but yeah. This is where, he says, "Yes, Sun Tzu," or "Yes, grandfather." This is where, Sun Tzu says, "Naruto, when you become 12 years old, I want you to kind of run a kind of little test." This is where Naruto says, "What do you mean?" "I want you to have your little organization, just a side organization, to see how good you will be able to take over the Iron Yakuza when you're 18. Or, when not you're 18, when you're 16. That's why Naruto says, I see. So you want me to kind of do a child's one, so when I become 16 to 17, I will be able to take over, just to have a little bit experience of it. This is where, Sun Tzu says, precise. This is where Naruto says, okay, I see. Yes, I see. Okay, so you want me to have my own kind of members? Yes. Can it be my friends? Yes, of course. That's where, Sun Tzu says, unless if they agree to it. I don't really want to force any child into it. Naruto says, I think they'll agree to it. Sun Tzu says, I hope so. This is where, Naruto says, is that all you want me to say? Or not say, tell me? This is where Sun Tzu says, of course. You can go back to what you were going to do before I interrupted you. You can go back to meditating. Naruto nodded. That's where Sun Tzu says, okay, goodbye, boy. This is where Naruto does and kind of way back. And this is where Naruto goes back to meditating. Well, he was going to meditate anyway before Sasuke kind of interrupted him. We go into, well, a 3-year time skip. Naruto is now 12 years old. Now, Naruto is not the height of actually a 12-year-old. He's actually the height of almost being like a 14-year-old. The reason why is because Naruto's height is actually, well, being 5'5". Well, not 5'5" exactly, 5'6". No, actually, yeah, 5'6". Naruto is like 5'6" a little bit. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he is tall. He's also, his muscles are kind of lean. A little bit, think of it like Gojo, a little bit like that. But of course, this is where it's still buff and he is still strong. But of course, he is also very strong against anyone. He's actually kind of considered a prodigy when he was in the academy a little, but yeah. The reason why is he's extremely smart, extremely strong, and extremely fast. And other categories he kind of surpassed. But he's not fast like Kizaru, because Kizaru can just transform his body into light. Now Kizaru, he's the height of being 6.5. He's a little bit taller than Naruto. Or not 6.5. He's 5.7. Or not 5.7. 5'7". He's a little bit taller than Naruto. But of course, he wears yellow glasses, like these yellow glasses, just because he kind of likes the color, and does wear a yellow suit. Of course, well, he does talk very slow, but that's just because he likes annoying Naruto a little bit. But yeah, that's why Naruto, he wears a black suit, somewhat. He wears kind of like a suit like this, but of course, it's kind of mostly like overhauls a little bit. He doesn't wear like white shoes. He wears black shoes, but of course the pants that he wears is like this. But of course, he kind of wears like 2 belts. He does have multiple tattoos around his body because he has Naruto want to kind of become more like a Yakuza, so yeah. Of course, he does have a mask on top of his head, I should mention. And of course, Naruto did kind of change his genes from having blonde hair to having black hair, so yeah. So this is where Naruto, he's kind of getting ready to kind of make his little organization, his small organization, but yeah. He asked Kizaru, and Kizaru was fine with it. This is where he asked, well, Akina, Suki, and even let me say that again. Aizu to kind of see if they wanted to join. They said that it would be fine because they didn't really mind any of that. But yeah, of course, Naruto did also kind of met someone from the civilian side that actually has a very interesting power, because in Iron Country, even though it's kind of the peace kind of place, the peace place and all that, like peaceful place, because it's the common ground that no one should attack anything because it's just a peaceful place. It also has technology kind of growing in Iron Country. So technology is kind of growing a little bit, but yeah, a little bit faster than anyone else. They have telephones, other things, and yeah. So of course, Naruto met this person through the civilian class. He had a very interesting power. His eyes were green, just fully like a lightish green color. But instead of just having green eyes, it seems that it was mixture with something else. He has a Kekkei, but he didn't actually know this. But he's able to kind of hack into technology things pretty easily. So his eyes kind of shows to be kind of slick a little bit, to be green kind of slick a little bit. But of course, where, well, it shows 0 and 1s in that green side, but yeah, in the green. Of course, where, well, he's able to hack into anything pretty easily. Of course, he's a genius, much more smarter than Naruto, but yeah. Naruto's just extremely smart for being still a child. Now, of course, this is where, well, this person is named Crypto. Now, the reason Crypto is also joining this place is just to kind of have his own, like, kind of little equipment, because he was asked by Naruto if he wanted to join. Crypto didn't really want to just work as a civilian his whole life, so decides to join Naruto in this little organization. Now, Crypto, he might be able to hack into technology pretty easily, but he's also extremely smart and invents things. Like, he invented this kind of like circle thing, metal circle, that transforms into like a robot that has like a camera in one of the around the circle, like a camera, and of course on top of it is like a propeller to kind of fly around. He kind of made that just so he can get more angles and other things from the sky, but yeah. Of course, he kind of wears, I should mention, he wears a mask, like a face mask. And of course, he kind of wears a black hood. Well, mostly a black hoodie. And, well, not a black hoodie, kind of like black hoodie, leather jacket a little bit, but yeah. Of course, this is where, well, he kind of wears like black bracelets that's kind of having spikes, but yeah. Think of it like Watchdog a little bit, but yeah. Of course, you can barely see his eyes except for the glow of his eyes, but yeah. Of course, this is where, well, he joined the organization that Naruto kind of created. Because, yeah, he was bored, and his name is Crypto. Because that's kind of just his code, and he never actually kind of said any of his actual name. His actual name would be something else, but Crypto is kind of like his special name that he kind of said to Naruto to actually kind of call him. So, yeah. Of course, this is where Naruto has his organization, and of course, this is where, well, Naruto went on some small little business trips to different places with his kind of group, because Sansu did kind of request Naruto to do that, just to give him a little bit of experience in what would happen in, well, the outside of like trading with others. But yeah, of course, not just that, he gave Naruto a katana that was actually meant for him when he became 12 years old, a special kind of katana. Now, this katana seems to have like a black but orange handle. Of course, the sheath is being like a black and orange handle, but it has like a fox kind of carved in, with this nine tails kind of being on like these like sheath. Well, not sheath, mostly in the what's called like the the sheath kind of being wrapped around and all that. And of course, where, well, the nine tails face, like the eye, will kind of be like on top of the sheath before the blade kind of goes in. But yeah, so yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto was amazed with the sword, but when he took out the blade, it was this black, like this color of a black blade. But of course, like the angle of like the sharp side was kind of color orange, like an orange pattern flame. It looked like think of it a little bit like Raikaku from Demon Slayer. Am I saying that right? Fuck, I haven't watched Demon Slayer in a while, but yeah. This is where, well, it's like that, but of course, this is where, well, Naruto was very impressed. Now, Naruto actually did talk to a Nine Tails when he was being kind of like training over time. Now, the Nine Tails never thought of actually having, well, his jailer be a fucking mafia / Yakuza boss leader. So, of course, he decided to help Naruto a little bit. Kind of teaching him about fire chakra and other things. But yeah, Naruto has that sword, but he also has another sword that, well, Sansu kind of gave him. This sword is actually, well, an interesting type of sword, because, well, it's not just, well, the blade itself, but the design it has. So, the sheath kind of has like this golden kind of, not sheath, mostly the handle kind of has like this golden kind of crest of like a golden flower and all that. So, of course, it kind of looks like a smaller Tonto, like this. But, of course, the sheath kind of has, like, a golden dragon kind of put on it. Like a golden Chinese dragon. You know those Chinese dragons? So, yeah, kind of put on it. And the blade itself is golden. But he found out something from the golden blade. It has so many, like, element metal chakras kind of combined to it. So, if we use any type of element, it will increase a lot thanks to this blade. But yeah, Naruto was very happy, and he did hug Sansu. Now, of course, he has his two blades, like, to the side of him. One is, well, not one. He has both of his blades into the, what's called right side of him, but yeah. And his two Tontos are usually kind of in his, what's it called, like, not coat, I would say. Because he does wear kind of a coat a little bit, but not really. Of course, he kind of has them like also on the side, but yeah, mostly in his like left side, but yeah. But other than that, Naruto, he's kind of walking towards his like team and all that. Well, mostly his group and all that he kind of made, but yeah. So, of course, Naruto does kind of go to these little missions. Of course, where, well, those little missions are containing of him just kind of asking different traders that are kind of trading with Iron Country, but at the same time with the the Iron Yakuza. So, yep. Of course, where Naruto kind of talks to them to kind of see what more resources they have to offer, but yeah. So yeah, Naruto kind of goes around the country a little bit, mostly Iron Country, and even outside of Iron Country, to kind of see what the other traders kind of has another. He also talks to merchants and other things. He does have a very huge allowance because he has, well, somewhat huge allowance. So his allowance is kind of like Jonin rank, because the Iron Yakuza are kind of fucking rich. They are really rich thanks to, well, being on mutual ground. Like a mutual ground meaning that they are able to get a lot of money from different villages. So yeah, because they don't have like an anger issue with anyone, and no one has an anger issue with them. So yeah. So of course, this is where Naruto's like allowance is pretty fucking high. So of course, Naruto does help out, well, his, well, friends and companions and resources what they need. Crypto kind of needs like metal and other stuff like technology, mostly like hardwire or anything like that, like hard drives and other things to kind of make more machines and other things. Now there's actually weaknesses between the teams. Crypto kind of has this weakness that he's not physically built to kind of fight in a physical battle, like using a sword and kind of like dodging things. He is mostly considered to be someone long range, very long range. He's not gonna go into battle, but yeah. But of course, his eyes actually give him the ability to kind of fight if he needs to fight in kind of close range. His eyes are actually similar to the Sharingan a little bit, but his eyes are more potent, kind of more potent than Kazaru's red eye. Meaning that he's able to kind of see the attacks go slow motion, but see where they're actually going to attack next. Like see an actor image, a little bit like the future, but he's actually able to see it way perfectly better. So of course he can dodge attacks. Of course he also has an ability where he can teleport, just teleport to a dimension, but also kind of, well, yeah, have his own pocket dimension, but also teleport away from things like, well, anything will happen. Think of it like the Kamui, but yeah. Now, of course, is where, well, he actually also did make himself a sword, but the sword, think of it like a lightsaber. He has a kind of like greenish blade lightsaber, but think of it that the lightsaber kind of is green, but think of it like it's like the black lightsaber. So it's like that blade type. So yeah. Or not the black blade, but yeah, it's like that. But let me show you. So it's kind of like this lightsaber, but yeah. But instead of never being able to kind of deactivate it, he's able to deactivate it. But he still has a sheath for it, just in case he ever accidentally activates it. But yeah, like that. But of course, even though he's not physically strong, he's still physically strong enough to kind of, well, be able to carry different pieces of metal. But yeah. Of course, that's just because, yeah. Next is that Kazaru kind of had a weakness to kind of be overconfident in himself, but yeah. A little bit way too overconfident. Naruto's weakness is basically that he still has traumatized, basically from when his childhood, when he was 6 years old, all the way to when he was 1 year old, but yeah. But of course, that's just a weakness that mostly he will have until he, well, somehow fixes it, but yeah. Of course, where, well, Akina has a weakness to kind of little bit be too, how should I say, confident in herself for being way too fast. Same with Kizaru, but not as fast as him, because he can legit just transform into light. But of course, she is still kind of a little bit confident in that, a little bit cocky. But of course, this is where, well, Suki has a confidence to be in thinking that she's strong enough because she's able to hold a large katana. But of course, she kind of gets wrecked every time against Naruto because he uses smaller tantos. But yeah, this is where, well, Aisu kind of has a confidence thinking that she's able to win against anything thanks to her very special bloodline and genes and eyes and other. But yeah. But other than that, everyone kind of has a weakness. But yeah. But of course, they all kind of are okay thanks to, well, Naruto's kind of confidence and telling them that they shouldn't be that cocky and should kind of really help each other. So yeah. Kizaru sometimes kind of tries to, like, say that he's not overconfident until Naruto somehow hits him in the head. Even though Kizaru is a little bit taller than him. But of course, this is where, well, Naruto smiles and says, then let's go. So yeah, so they're mostly traveling different things, but yeah. So we go into 3 months later. We go into, well, a village helping out this small, well, fat person that's kind of old, who is named Tazuna. Now, of course, the village that's helping him is basically the Leaf Village. Kakashi's on that team. Of course, Sasuke, Sakura, and of course, this person that is named Umi Uchiha is on this team. Of course, this is where Sasuke is kind of being grumpy and kind of not caring sometimes. Umi is kind of looking at how beautiful the landscape is, and Sakura is kind of like overfloating. We're kind of like flirting, and we're trying to be flirting with Sasuke, but Sasuke's like, fuck that, you ugly ass bitch, get away from me. But yeah. Of course, this is where Kakashi's dying, but yeah. Of course, this is where they still get attacked by Zabuza, Haku, and yeah. But we go into, well, Zabuza kind of being hurt. Now, Zabuza is, even though he's kind of hurt, he wasn't like kind of that hurt like in original canon, because Naruto wasn't there to kind of somewhat distract him a little bit, but yeah. Kakashi just managed to get out of his water prison on his own and managed to kind of fight against Zabuza, but still kind of lost. This is where, well, Zabuza is saying, why should I be staying here, you bastard? Do you not see that I'm kind of hurt? Gato says, because, you see here, people from Iron Country is going to come here, and I need your protection. This is where Zabuza narrows his eyes, saying, Iron Country? Why for? Well, not why for. What for? Oh, just a little bit of protection. Haku's just there, kind of glaring at, well, Gato. This is where, well, people kind of walk through some iron doors, and of course this is where some like bandits and thugs they try to attack Naruto, but Naruto kills them all in an instant. He pulls out his blade so fast that all of them died. This is where so many of them just died. And Naruto's walking by himself. This is where Zabuza widened his eyes. He did not see the blade just cut through so many of them. Naruto, he has a very powerful and dangerous aura around him. Naruto, who is just there, kind of like sitting on a chair, like this metal chair, and kind of like leaning back in it and saying, so, you're the person that my father told me to talk. So, where's the fucking money that you owe us? This is where Gato kind of smirks, seeing that Naruto is just a kid, and saying, oh, well, I don't really have your money because you see here, I don't really talk to a little kid like you. You see here, I'm only here to talk to your father, but since you're just a little kid, why should I? This is where Naruto sends one of his tantos so fast. Well, like throws something so fast at Gato that I cut his cheek in an instant. That's the word, well, not Tazuna. Zabuza and Haku could not react fast enough from that. That's why Naruto says, are you saying you don't have the money? Are you saying that you worthless pig, is having no money of it? This is where Naruto's walking straight towards Gato. This is where Zabuza swings his blade. Naruto takes off his glove in an instant and grabs the blade, shattering it, just destroying the matter exactly from existing from the blade. This is where, well, Zabuza widened his eyes. Naruto is walking so close to Gato. This is where Gato gulps because that blade just gets obliterated in an instant. This is where Naruto says, "You stay out of it, missing ninja. Missing ninja of the Mist Village." This is where, well, Zabuza has no longer a blade. This is where Zabuza gets angry, rushes at Naruto. But this is where someone appears. Someone with black hair, yellow glasses, and a yellow tuxedo. This is where, well, not yet, suit mostly. And kind of has a kind of white shoes, but having now his leg transform into a light. And kind of just kicking Zabuza on the side of the stomach. Sending his ass straight into multiple, like, walls of the building. And outside hitting multiple trees. This is where Kozado says, "Oh, I'm sorry there, Mr. Don't Give a Crap, but sorry about that. It's just because I don't really care." But yeah, he's just talking really slow, but yeah. This is where Gato widened his eyes. Haku was about to, jump in and kind of throw some ice sunbombs at, Naruto. But this is where, before he's able to do anything, this is where two small circles of like balls kind of rolling towards him because Haku did jump back. This is where two also from above are flying towards him, and Haku does not see it because Haku cannot sense chakra. Well, he can, but these things are not made with chakra. This is where Naruto says, "You shouldn't really attack me," or well, not Naruto, mostly Kizaru. This is where Haku says, "Why shouldn't I?" "Because you're already trapped." Haku was confused until the balls kind of exploded to kind of having these wires and exploding, kind of grabbing around Haku, tying him up pretty easily like a present. This is where Haku widened his eyes. This is where Kizaru says, "Like I said, don't be an idiot and don't be overconfident." This is where Naruto is walking straight towards Gato with this murderous intent, with one of his hands being loose and having no glove. Naruto saying, "If you don't have my money, I will destroy your whole fucking little plan of taking over this goddamn village. I will make this village under the Yakuza of Iron Country if you don't have my damn money." So where Naruto's hands is getting kind of clenched because he's pretty much getting angrier and angrier because Gato doesn't have the money, which he does. He's just being kind of greedy, fat pig, but yeah. This is where, Gato says, please don't kill me." This is where multiple, Gato says, "Wait." He says, "Wait, I have so many guards." He says, "Guards, where are you?" This is where, cricket. This is where Naruto, he says, "Are you trying to look for your guards?" "I'm sorry to say, but they're all already dead. I killed them before coming here. Just so I can have, you to myself to torture you for not having the money. You probably do. You're just being overconfident because of my size." Naruto goes and grabs, Gato from the head. Gato sees nothing but the hand getting closer. And we go fast forward. This is where Naruto, he gets to where the cell was at. Mostly the kind of, what's called, the vault. This is where Naruto gets into the vault by destroying the matter in the door and all that. By just destroying everything. This is where, Naruto sees the money. And this is where he kind of, clicks something in his ear and says, "Hey, Crypto, can you hear me?" Crypto says, "Yeah." "Can you make a portal right to my location so you can take all the money?" Crypto says, "Got it." This is where a portal appears. But instead of being a vortex or anything, think of it like the combo or anything like that, it's kind of like a rift. Like something appears, like a green rift appears. This is where it cracks open. And this is where, Crypto appears saying, "So here's the portal. You're gonna help me lift up the money?" Naruto says, "Yeah, I know you're physically kind of fucking weak." Crypto says, "I'm not weak. I'm still trying to get stronger, okay? Just don't bully me." Naruto says, "Whatever." This is where Naruto kind of gets the money, puts it all in there. The goals, money, and other things. But Naruto has a bag of money. This is where Naruto, he wants to win over the whole village of, the Wave Village. Just to have them having kind of an alliance with Iron Country. So they can have, they can get resources from, the Wave. Because he knows that Wave is going to be like a tourist place. And, the money might be able to help them more. So of course this is where Naruto, he kind of says, well, take all of that back to, well, Iron Country and tell my father that I got the money from a scummy little bag. This is where, well, Crypto says, what are you going to do with that money? Crypto. You shouldn't be asking me very dumb questions when you know this village is very poor. And this village can be very helpful in the very near future. So I need you to just go back. This is where Naruto's smiling, this pure evil smile. But it looks like a happy smile, but this evil grin is kind of appearing in his face. This is where Crypto gets terrified and kind of jumps into his portal and disappears. This is where, well, we go into Naruto going into the the land of waves. Kizaru, he's right next to Naruto. And this is where so many civilians are kind of confused in why, Kizaru or Naruto are here. But they don't really know the names of these people. And this is where, well, some bandits are still in there and kind of attacking people and other. Kizaru says, should I kill them? Naruto says, go ahead. Kizaru walks up to these bandits and even thugs because there's still some around the whole village. Well, kind of the whole island, but yeah. And of course Kizaru says, may I help you, gentlemen? And why are you kind of attacking that woman? This is where they say, bug off, you. What the hell are you? Kizaru says, oh, let me explain who I am. My name is Kizaru, the right-hand man of Naruto. Well, Naruto, the leader of the Iron Yakuza, the next heir. And I should really tell you to buzz off. You see here, this whole country of island is now under the protection of him. If you dare try to cause more trouble, I'll kill you. This is where one of them swings their blade straight to Kizaru's waist, but it just phases through him because of his light ability. This is where Kizaru says, I guess you've chosen death. This is where he points out 4 of his fingers out, and this is where light beams appears and just shot them all down, killing them. This is where the lady gets terrified, and Kizaru says, now will you mind, miss, to kind of walk away and never talk about this ever again? This is where she nods and just runs away terrified. This is where, well, Naruto gets to, the heart of the village and kind of tell Kizaru to kind of set off firework. This is where Kizaru does. He kind of throws up this little bit light orb that he kind of created, throws it up in the air, and it explodes like a firework. This is where multiple people got their attention. Even, what's it called? Tazuna. Now, I should mention what happened to Haku and Zabuza. Haku and Zabuza were kind of paid off by Naruto to kind of just fuck off. But yeah. Which they did. They kind of left. But what's called Zabuza doesn't have his blade. Well, not really fuck off. Mostly kind of hiring them to kind of be in his group. This is where Naruto kind of reformed the blade by kind of using the matter that he kind of got. So of course he reformed the blade, but being way stronger than its original kind of use. This is where the blade is able to kind of make earthquakes, or not earthquakes, mostly slice into the ground pretty easily if adding chakra. Like wind chakra or water chakra, any type. But yeah. So of course it's chakra metal kind of density, so yeah. Well, able to use now. This is where Zabuza nodded, and this is where Zabuza, he decides to kind of, leave to Iron Country because he can see that since it's a neutral kind of place, he won't be really hunted by Mist Village. So of course, he does not really need to be in the run, and his son and also daughter can be safe. This is where, he does have a daughter and does tell Haku to come along so they can go to Iron Country. But yeah, this is where Naruto, he gets to talk to all the civilians in the land of waves. He says, hello there, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Naruto, Naruto, this is where, the Iron Yakuza's name for the, Iron Yakuza's kind of name of the place, mostly the game, is called Shin Yakuza. This is where Naruto says, my name is Naruto. I am from the Shin Yakuza. I'm here to ask for a little alliance with the Land of Waves leader, whoever is the leader. I'm here to pay a very huge price of money for your kind of help and the little benefits of, well, your country. We don't really ask much, and I will pay anything for any of you to kind of have. Just so we understand that, our country is a very mutual ground. It's not full of hatred people. You see here, we're all peaceful. We're all not really here to terrorize other people. So, I'm just wanting to know, would you accept this deal? This is where everyone is kind of looking at each other, and no one has actually thought of a leader because Gato has been ruling over, and this is where one person stands up. A kind of grayish haired man who still looks to be buff a little bit because he was working on his muscle and all that, just because he wanted to fight off the gang members or Doug members or anything like that. And of course he stands up and says, How do we know you're not part of Gato's thing? Naruto smiles and says, "Oh, because I killed Gato." Kazaru pulls out a scroll, throws the scroll down, and this is where a poof happens. This is where Gato's head appears. Right now, Gato, one of his eyes is plucked out. His whole head is kind of captivated. And this is where, Kazaru says, "We're not a part of some fat bastard like him. We're here on our own, kind of militias. On our own will. So, would you all like this alliance? Or we can leave and leave your place be poor." This is where so many people think of the riches and other things, but some people are kind of scared to accept. Naruto says, "You don't all need to accept very fast. I'm willing to help, but if you shut me out, I'll be leaving." This is where, everyone is looking at Naruto. And this is where Naruto is smiling, but this is where no one can see any evil intent from Naruto. This is where the old man says, "I accept. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm here to try to feed my family." Everyone starts accepting. This is where Naruto says, "Good. Kazaru." Kazaru does kind of throw bags of money down to kind of equal space it out. And this is where, Naruto says, "Since there's not really a bridge into the mainland, I will help you out with the bridge of the mainland. Don't mind me." This is where so many people start following Naruto straight to the unfinished bridge. And this is where, Tazuna is there with Kakashi and Sasuke. And of course, Sakura and Umi are kind of back. Well, no, they're actually there. They're kind of just protecting, Tazuna. And this is where Tazuna is kind of confused why there's so many civilians going towards him. And he says, "Are you all here to help me finish the bridge?" That's where the older man says, "No, we're here to see Lord Naruto, our kind of new leader." Naruto says, "I am not your leader. You were the one to accept it. You should be considered a leader. What is your name, mister?" This is where he says, the name is not Hai. What's it called? He says, "The name is Hosuke Shin." That's where Naruto says, "So, Mr. Hosuke Shin, you are the leader of the Land of Waves. Since you were brave enough to talk to me and accept my dear, you are considered to be the new leader. So, don't have power or confidence over your head. I am only here to help finish the bridge." This is where, Kizaru is still right next to Naruto. And this is where, Kakashi widened his eyes. That name seems so damn familiar. This is where he widened his eyes. Seeing Naruto have his not whisker marks. The whisker marks are covered up by a mask. And of course his black hair and his kind of bluish eyes are kind of crystalline up. Well, mostly his blue eyes are crystallizing in the sun. But his black hair is kind of just there. This is where Naruto's walking towards the bridge, or the unhalf-finished bridge. And this is where Naruto does touch some of the, he did touch some of the blocks and materials that the bridge builder needs and all that. And this is where he disappears, all of them, just transform them all into matter. And this is where, Kakashi widened his eyes. He never seen an ability like that. This is where Naruto did have his gloves off. And this is where Naruto does kind of kneel down to that bridge side. puts both of his hands out, and this is where the bridge starts not reforming, start being built out of thin air. This is where Naruto is using all the matter that he managed to grab from all that material. And of course, this is where, Naruto says it's about completed finish. About 99%. At the very end, it's not very completed. But it's very stable right now. Naruto stomps the ground. Naruto didn't just use what's called the materials that were there. He also did kind of use steel that he had on his body, because yes, he kind of did use matter to kind of grab steel and all that and kind of store it in his body. So yeah. So that's a little bit of the Kekkei. Since I'm not really going off the quirk of what's called overhaul, but yeah. But of course, Naruto, he says, but of course, this bridge is very stable. It will not break down any war. It won't break down of a very strong wave or anything. Show him, Kizaru. Kizaru says, fine. Kizaru throws a light ball into the sea, or mostly the sea that's connected, kind of separating the, land of waves from, the main, what's called main continent. But of course, this is where the light ball explodes the sea. This is where a very powerful tidal wave hits the bridge, but didn't break it. This is where so many people are kind of congratulating of Naruto's kind of creation. But Naruto says, but there's a little slight problem. At the very end of the bridge, I didn't fully fix it. There was not enough material to kind of fix it. There's only an out layer of steel metal on it. I only had enough metal to kind of connect it to it. But of course, you will need to kind of use your own material to kind of finish the full bridge. So it'll be at 100%. This is where, some people are still kind of happy and grateful for Naruto to do that. And Naruto says, I must be off. Come on, Kizaru. Kizaru starts walking along with Naruto until Kakashi says, wait. This is where Naruto says, do you need something, Ninja-san? This is where, Naruto's eyes are closed, think of it like a old wise elder. But Naruto kind of closes his eyes like that. This is where Kakashi says, your name is Naruto. Is it, your last name isn't Naruto, your first name is Naruto. Is your last name Uzumaki? Naruto, his hands start shaking. This is where Kizaru notices it. This is where Kizaru kind of steps in front of Naruto and says, Ninja-san, you shouldn't be asking very dumb questions. His name is not Naruto Uzumaki. His name is just Naruto. There is no Uzumaki in his name. So I am very trying to tell you in a very polite manner. Do not call him Uzumaki. He is no Uzumaki. Does he have red hair? Does he have any kind of interest into having any red hair or any relationship into the Uzumaki? No. Then you should probably not call him that. He was called multiple times. Well, not called multiple times. He was kind of really, he doesn't look anything like the Uzumaki. So I suggest you don't call him that, or there will be problems. He said that last part very coldly. Kakashi notices it, and of course Kakashi says, My apologies. What's it called? What is her name? Kizaru. Kizaru-san. I'm sorry about that, but there was just a boy that kind of, went missing about a couple of years ago, 6 years ago. Of course, this is where his name was Naruto Uzumaki. He looks just like the boy right next to you. Kizaru-san. Kizaru smiles and says, oh, sorry. You might be thinking of someone else, because he doesn't look anything like him. This is where, Kakashi says, oh really? Kakashi appears right next to Naruto, about to grab Naruto from the mask, and before he was able to grab Naruto from the mask, he could not react fast enough from a light kick, smashing him across the sea. This is where Kizaru says, like I said, Ninja-san, you shouldn't be attacking my leader like that. Naruto, he was about to just grab Kakashi from the arm and destroy in an instant. Because Naruto, his eyes are just becoming this crimson red. Naruto's anger is just rising, boiling off. This is where Kizaru notices it. This is where Naruto's hand is still shaking. This is where Kizaru says, Naruto, you shouldn't go berserk like that. That's where Naruto like calms down because Arkina actually appears, kind of calming Naruto down, saying, "Naruto, calm down." That's where Naruto says, "Yes, thank you, Arkina." Arkina smiles and says, "Yeah, we gotta go anyway." Aizana and even with Katsuki are kind of with Crypto, or next to somewhere else. But yeah, that's where Naruto nodded. That's where Naruto says, "Well, goodbye, village of the land of waves, people. I must be leaving now." I should also say something in, well, this is where, well, Naruto says, "In words of wisdom, I suggest you don't trust the Leaf Village. They are not as good in polish as you people might think. They are not the greatest. They still have very, very dirty secrets lying underneath the, well, precious, beautiful, like land. So I suggest you do not trust him." But that is just a suggestion. I am not telling you to not trust him. You can trust him still, maybe trade with them, but I wouldn't say fully trust him. They might be even worse than Gato. Naruto said that last part very, very darkly. So many people took Naruto's word because they can see Naruto as like the hero. So of course, so many people takes it kind of like, well, a grain of salt. They take it very, very, how should I say? They take it pretty. They take the suggestion pretty. What's it called? Like, how should I say? Fuck, I can't think of right now. But yeah, they just take the suggestion because they can see that Naruto's a very good person, while that ninja actually did try to attack Naruto for no reason. So they're actually thinking that maybe Konoha is a bad place or anything. But this is where Naruto disappears. But before Naruto leaves, he sees Umi's eyes. And this is where Umi's seeing Naruto's eyes, and their eyes do connect. Naruto turns around because he doesn't care. But yeah. Kurama, on the other hand, has a perverted thought. He says, "Oh, another girl for your head." This is where Naruto shuts him up. This is where the communication kind of gets shut off. And that's where Kurama says, "You little brat, you're not supposed to do that." But yeah. This is where I'm going to end it off for part 2. Part 3 will be whenever. But other than that, have a nice Patel day. Patel night. Patel say. Patel. Wait. Sorry, I kind of messed up my my fucking words. But have a nice Patel day. Patel night. Patel say. Potato. And other than that, potato. Oh no. Bye.